shortages for over a decade with no end in sight. You have chosen to cut off foreign aid, even from non-governmental agencies such as the World Food Programme. This has only worsened the situation. Your stranglehold on the people is enforced not through devotion, but through martial law. Your policies have resulted in famine, chronic poverty, and a decline in productivity. As the price of oil climbs, your troubles will only increase. Your military remains strong, but to what purpose? You have 2 million men in uniform doing nothing more than guarding a border that separates you from your own brothers in the south. How will that end for you? Wang stood up as the translation was completed, but before he could speak, Adina said, "Sit down, I am not finished." The Korean stared at him in disbelief. "Do you understand that I am here on behalf of the great leader? Do you realize that if I so choose, you will never leave this room alive?" Adina remained utterly composed as he replied, "And to whom do you think you are speaking? Some fool toady you can intimidate with your threats. Kim would not have sent you to meet with me unless he believed I had something important to say. Insulting my glorious country, is that what I should find important?" "No, my friend," the Latin replied, speaking slowly so that nothing would be missed by the translator. "What I have come to say is that I have a solution to these problems, a strategy, if you will, that will benefit your country and mine." Wang hesitated for a moment, then sat back down. "Well, what if we could arrange a means of using your military intelligence and capability to deal a mortal wound to our common enemy? What if we could do it in such a way that the blame was not laid at your doorstep or mine? What if we work together to ensure that you will have access to oil at a fair price for decades to come, while crippling the United States in the process?" "You want us to go to war against the United States?" "Quite the contrary. I want to help you avoid a war with the United States, a war that is inevitable if your economic issues worsen and your flaunting of their demands increases. Let's be frank in our assessments for a moment. Try to put aside the patriotic claptrap you are forced to recite for the masses and look at the realities here." The Korean translator visibly flinched as he delivered this sentence, but Adina went on. "Where will all the hunger and oppression in your country inevitably lead? Eventually, you will be left with a disenchanted people and a huge army with war as the only rationale for its use. Just as the United States needed the Second World War to lift itself from the Great Depression, the DPRK will be left with no alternative but bloody conflict. Then who will you fight? The Chinese, the Japanese, the Americans? With their resources, it will spell disaster for you." Wang began to protest, but Adina held up his hand. "Right now, our enemies in the West face an ongoing battle with the extremists in the Middle East. Instead of becoming entangled in those hostilities, let us embark on a mission that will use the fanaticism of the Islamic lunatics for our benefit. Let them escalate their conflicts with the United States. Let them deflect all attention away from us, while we actually deal the Americans a crushing blow. Let our two nations become the core of a great new alliance for this young century." "Who are you?" Wang said, regretting the question as soon as it was uttered. Adina waved the question away as if swatting at a noisome insect. "Who I am is of no consequence for now. What is important is that we are already moving ahead, swiftly and secretly and effectively. We already have men in place to begin the first part of this mission." "Already moving?" "Yes, with the approval of your great leader." Wang appeared stung. "Where?" "In the Caribbean." Wang would have laughed if humor were any part of his limited emotional arsenal. "The Caribbean? What sense does that make?" "All the sense in the world," Adina said with a smile. "As you will come to see once you are prepared to listen, it makes all the sense in the world." Chapter 1. Tehran. Syed Asghari was a true believer. He had dedicated much of his adolescence and all of his adult life to the glory of